Good morning. I am Chastine Turntine, and today I will be briefing you on professional development as a class assignment for my graduate degree at Liberty University. Our professional development, AVID, ISTE, and 3 research and resources that are available through the ISTE website. So professional development is not limited only to educators. Professional development is anything an individual does to help advance their career. So this could be workshops, seminars, conferences, online courses or certifications, collaborating with their peers to make products for others, reflective practices such as coaching and mentoring, and even self-assessment. Being a part of a professional organization does have its benefits. You're able to increase your network, which will lead to other career opportunities. Have access to more resources you may not have been able to see before because they were only exclusive to that organization. You'll have representation in the educational policy and reform. So if there is a change that is occurring within that field and you're not supportive of it, or maybe you want to get behind it to increase the likelihood of it being passed. Professional growth, so you'll be able to have access to mentorship, leadership roles, and professional learning. And then credibility. Each organization has been recognized on whether a national or international level. So adding that onto your resume will increase your credibility and maybe even make you more marketable. A program that I am looking into joining once I complete my degree in time and service is Advancement via Individual Determination, also known as AVID. A young professional such as myself, or someone who's interested in being a teacher but they're not able to teach yet, would benefit from joining an organization such as this one, is because you're new to the professional and it'll help new to the profession and it'll help you build confidence as well as receive mentorship and guidance. Everyone needs a mentor. It's something that is the key to having success, is having mentor and guidance to show you your left and right limits and what's acceptable and not acceptable, especially when entering into a new career field. And they'll also show you how to develop your voice and leadership potential early on in your career. My favorite benefit of joining programs like AVID, or the organization like AVID, is the fact that it gives you access to job opportunities, scholarships, and conferences. So when you're a member of AVID, you're able to get a discounted rate to attend the conferences, as well as you'll be able to see jobs that are opening up, and some jobs you can only get if you are an AVID member. So AVID is a nonprofit organization that focuses on closing the gap by preparing opportunities for all students, whether that's college, career, like entering the workforce immediately. Some of the training that AVID offers is research-based teaching strategies. It also has a supportive community where it can show teachers how to build equity and student success. And then there's leadership development through AVID Summer Institutes and digital learning experiences, similar to the programs that are offered on ISTE. So ISTE recognized and supported AVID through the Seal of Alignment for Professional Development. What that means is ISTE did a review over everything that AVID stands for, their previous conferences, their programs, and based off of the standards that ISTE uses, it awarded AVID in April 2024 with a professional learning seal of alignment, acknowledging that AVID's professional development resources are in line with the ISTE standards for educators. This recognition signifies that AVID effectively prepares educators to integrate technology in ways to enhance teaching and learning. This is extremely important, especially because the students that AVID primarily serves range from the groups of middle school up into junior college to your associate's degrees of first-time college graduates for their families. So This prepares students who maybe don't normally have access to things like laptops to show them how to actually develop basic computer skills so that they're successful in high school, so that they're successful in college. An educator such as myself, or a future educator such as myself, would be able to use Avid to help them learn different methodologies that promote student engagement and achievement, as well as a program that supports using digital tools for the benefit of the student and not the benefit of the app program or creator. So ISTE stands for International Society for Technology and Education. This is also a nonprofit organization that supports educators in using technology to improve teaching and learning. ISTE is globally recognized for setting the standard for how educators can effectively integrate technology into the classroom. The members for this organization normally are educators, administrators, technology coaches, and educational technology leaders around the world. The main focus for ISTE is using technology to support innovation, equity, and deeper learning in education, not to just throw computers or laptops in front of students, but actually showing them how to use them so that they can progress. ISTE is known for their framework. So they have 3 different types of standards based off of the framework. So for their standards for students, there are standards for educators, and there are standards for coaches and leaders. For when it comes to professional learning that's available through ISTE, some of the things include online courses, certifications, webinars, and conferences. There is an annual conference that happens once a year that goes over different topics and then also has many sessions available to those who are attending, serving anywhere from teachers who are in special needs to teachers who are teaching in accelerated classes. Ideally, an educator would want to join ISTE to learn the latest tools and trends in the education career field, as well as new teaching strategies that can help them better incorporate technology or keep students engaged. This is also a organization that has memberships, which will give you access to lesson ideas, toolkits, and teaching guides. One of the teaching guides that were available on the ISTE website is an ebook that shows teachers how to incorporate technology in history and civics classes. Unique tools like that, helping a teacher get involved on a level that maybe most students aren't interested in, such as history, but incorporating technology in it to get their engagement could really not only assist the teacher, but also helps the learner better engage and understand the material. So this year's ISTE Live Conference is going to be from June 29th to July 2nd, 2025 in San Antonio, Texas. This conference has over 1,000 sessions that explore different ideas of technology and how to incorporate that in education, as well as provides leadership. Some of the key speakers are Dan Heath, Myro Kodev, and Jason Reynolds. If I was to be able to attend this conference, one of the speakers I would like to attend is Meredith McKerney. The ISTE Live website didn't really say too much about what she would be talking about, but based over what I found on her actual website, she focuses on cultivating a classroom of calm using her CALM framework. So her CALM framework consists of compassion, affect, little things, and mindfulness. So compassion is recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and needs nurturing. Affect is being aware of emotional contagion. Emotions can spread within a classroom by managing and modeling positive emotions. Educators can influence a more harmonious environment. Little things, acknowledging the small actions like brief mindfulness exercises or positive affirmations. And mindfulness, encouraging thoughtful responses over impulsive reactions. Teaching and practicing mindfulness helps in managing stress and enhancing focus. With this session, I believe this is any session provided this as the basis for what will be covered would be beneficial to a teacher, especially in today's environment, because students are becoming overwhelmed with their emotions, and not being able to learn how to regulate them can lead to bullying or even worse, school shootings, which we don't want to happen. And one of the key things that she places emphasis on is understanding trauma's impact. So she likes to focus on how exploring trauma of others and students can affect their behavior and learning, and how educators can respond with empathy and effective strategies. Sometimes people believe that you can use reverse psychology or try to trick someone into doing what you want them to do, but in a way that could be triggering to a student who maybe has a background of abuse or emotional or verbal abuse. And it also shows, her framework also shows that balancing empathy with accountability can implement an approach that holds students accountable while understanding their individual challenges. Another session that I would be interested in attending, if I was able to attend this, is Dan Heath's session. His session will focus on his latest book, Reset: How to Change What's Not Working, focus on transformative approaches in various sectors. I think everyone could benefit from this because sometimes something's not working, or even if it is working, it may not be as efficient as we think it is, and it may not be producing the results that maybe the school district needs us to produce in order to meet their objectives. One resource that I was able to find from the IST website is the UDL, Exploring the New Frontier of Assistive Technology in the Classroom. So UDL stands for Universal Design for Learning. This was in a podcast episode that is offered on the IST website. And traditionally, it talks about how traditionally assistive technology was reserved for students with special needs. However, UDL promotes the integration of these tools for all learners, recognizing that diverse learning styles benefit from varied instructional methods. The episode also emphasized that by designing lessons accessible to everyone from the outset, educators can eliminate the need of separate accommodations. And I feel like that's really important to recognize, because we don't want students to feel like they are outsiders or that they are separate from their peers. We want to create inclusive education environments, and sometimes schools do not have the ability to separate those who have special needs or special learning plans to be in their own classroom, that they try to include everyone and have them within the general population of the class, maybe those who don't have special requirements. What I like most about this podcast is the fact that it placed emphasis on the fact that educators need to be flexible. For me personally, I struggle sometimes with being rigid in thinking and presenting information. So trying to do it in multiple formats and even allowing students to think outside of the box would be something that I would need to start working on now, as well as I can use this form of technology to not only help the students think outside the box, but also help myself think outside the box. So podcasts like this are available on the ISTE website and are really beneficial to teachers. I did find a video and research article about teaching with enthusiasm in video lectures. This research article was found by the research article was published by a third party, but I found the article on the ISTE website. And this article found, not article, I'm sorry, this research found that enthusiastic video delivery in lectures significantly increased student engagement, but it did not make a dramatic difference in their cognitive behavior. As far as there's no way to tell that if a teacher is more enthused, if a student is going to retain more of the information, but it did show that they are more engaged. This benefits both students and a teacher by making content that's more accessible and stimulating, because they're able to go back and reflect on this. So if I was to record a video saying, hey, this is what happened, 2 plus 2 is 4, and I post it on a drive that's available to all students, students can go back and revisit that. Maybe they weren't having a good day in class. Maybe I was having a bad day and I wasn't as enthusiastic when I was teaching, but then being able to go back and reference videos definitely will help them. So by making content that is more accessible and stimulating, I am able to kind of close that gap where students disconnect from class because maybe they are bored. Demographics that would benefit from videos that are very high energy and upbeat would be maybe younger students or students with attention difficulties such as ADHD, or online learning environments where maintaining focus is challenging because they want to maybe go onto a social media site or maybe log out and go to YouTube. So that was something that I found was very important. I also talked about how making sure that in these videos that we're not putting backgrounds that are extremely distracting or busy. That way the focus can remain on the teacher. The last topic we'll discuss and cover is neurodiverse students and inclusive learning environments. So neurodiverse inclusive learning environment recognizes and embraces the varied ways students think, learn, and interact, particularly those with neurological differences such as autism, ADHD, dyslexia, and other educational, I don't want to say obstacles, but other differences. Teachers can better serve these students by providing flexible instruction, minimizing sensory overload, and using clear, consistent routines that support diverse learning needs. In previous classes, I had learned that the younger the students are, the more important it is to have a set schedule for those students. That way they are able to know what's coming up next. It gives them a sense of stability and they're able to predict what happens. What I really like the most about this podcast, because this is also a podcast episode, is the speaker talked about how he incorporated video game style learning into his classroom by designing lessons with levels and challenges and rewards, much like a role-playing game. This kind of reminded me of games like Kahoot, or when teachers use Jeopardy or something similar to Jeopardy to do reviews. He said he transformed assignments into quests and allowed students to earn points or badges for completing tasks and use leaderboards to encourage friendly competition and engagement. Incorporating technology into something as simple as review or homework to keep students engaged in completing their classwork is very beneficial to not just him as the educator, because he's able to ensure that students are engaged in doing the work, but also the students, because when someone does something that they like, they tend to retain more of the information as well as participate more often. However, it's very important that when designing these types of assignments and programs, that teachers make sure not to overstimulate students who maybe have sensory requirements and use clear and consistent routines. Overall, this approach helped make learning more interactive and appealing, particularly for students who are typically disengaged in traditional classroom settings. So this was also a podcast as well. So in today's presentation, we talked about professional development, the program AVID, the organization ISTE, and we covered 3 resources. I will have my references in the description box below. Thank you for your time.